Hi, it's Nathaniel Whiston here and welcome to Hollywood Stars of West Anglia. Today I'm travelling to the village of Whiston. Yes, that's right, Whiston goes to Whiston. It's to the west of Grendon, to the south of Earls Barton and to the east of Northampton. It's in South Northamptonshire and it's in West Anglia. Today's Hollywood star of West Anglia was a legendary name. He was known for his roguish charm and swashbuckling roles. He epitomised the dashing hero, and his private life was just as exciting as the parts he played on screen. So I'm taking the A428 instead of the Santa Fe Trail, where hopefully I'll avoid the charge of the Light Brigade, because the last group who bumped into them, well, they died with their boots on. Today, I'm talking about Errol Flynn. I can hear the question, what does Errol Flynn have to do with West Anglia? In 1933, Flynn was working as an actor out in Australia. He had a few roles in a few minor films, and he decided to further his career, he should come over to England. And it was in England where he secured a job with the Northampton Repertory Company, where he trained and performed as an actor for about a year or so and had a fantastic time by his account. If you go to Northampton today, you'll see the Errol Flynn Playhouse in the centre of the town, which is near the Royal and Derngate Theatre, which is where he used to perform. There's also a pub there called the Mail Coach, which is where he used to drink. There's a lot of things in Northampton to do with Errol Flynn. So you're probably thinking, why, Nathaniel, are you not going to Northampton? Well, I like to go off the beaten track, and I read a passage in his autobiography, My Wicked Ways, where he talks about an encounter in the Northamptonshire countryside, and I'm not sure exactly where it is, where this encounter happened, but I was looking on a map and I saw around Northampton there's a village by the name of Whiston, and I thought, well, my surname's Whiston, the village is called Whiston near Northampton, there must be a connection. That's too much of a coincidence, that must be the place to go to. So I'm going there. I don't know what it's like, my ancestral home maybe. I have no idea what it's like, I've never been there before, but I'm going to find out. And I'm going to talk about the Errol Flynn connection some more later on. I have to go round Bedford. It's a really great bypass they built here. Really great bypass. It's been ages since we've met up, Jeremy. I texted you about a drink the other night, but you said you were busy. I take it was wedding planning again. By the way, speaking of which, I haven't received an invite yet. I don't know if you've sent them out. I expect you have, because it's not too far away, is it? Or a save the date card, something like that. I haven't received anything. I'll keep an eye out for it. Interestingly, Errol Flynn was born in Hobart, Tasmania in 1909, and this was a mere 7 years after another famous thing that was born in Tasmania, the notepad. And like a notepad, Flynn was crisp, sharp and fresh. Well, he was in 1909 anyway. Towards the end of his life he was more like a crumpled old newspaper. That happens to us all. I think this is the right way. I'm seeing no signs for Whiston yet, but it must be around here. Get this, Jeremy, right? Alison says to me, do you want to go see some music tonight at the Wellington? I go, okay, I'm not that keen on music in pubs, but I make an effort. So we go there, and it only turns out to be two of my ex-housemates, doesn't it? Jeff and Tanya. Before they were Battenberg Overflow, well, they've changed their name, they've gone in a new direction, and they're a Jamiroquai tribute act. They're called Jamiroquai Not. Jeff's lead singer, he does them all, Cosmic Girl, Virtual Insanity, Deeper Underground. They sound absolutely terrible, but Alison's really getting into it. She's standing there, she's saying, this is great, and I'm thinking, if this is her taste, if this is what she likes, then what does that mean that she's interested in me? And I'm worried about that. Tuesday afternoon, right, I'm turning off my laptop. And Sean says to me, have you got that report ready for tomorrow? I said, I've done most of it, I'll finish it in the morning. He said, "You're going home with work unfinished." I said, "Yes, Sean, I can come in tomorrow and I'll finish it off in the morning. There's not much left to do." And he said, "Well, that's why you should stay then and finishing it off." For flip's sake, Sean, he's not even my boss and he sticks his nose in all the time. He's always wanting to know what I'm doing. I don't know what his problem is. Drives me up the wall. I've got to find somewhere to park. Am I going to be able to park here? I think so, this car has. Okay, well, we're here. We're in Whiston. Whiston in Whiston. Whiston in Whiston. The incident I was talking about earlier and the reason why I'm here today is because one of the sponsors of the Northampton Repertory Company, where Flynn was hired as a performer, she had a big country house somewhere in Northamptonshire, somewhere on the outskirts of Northampton, and Whiston is on the outskirts of Northampton. So what I'm looking for is a big country house, and it was there where this woman, well, she had interests in Flynn that weren't cultural. She was interested in something else, and she grabbed him in a bear hug, he says, and a half Nelson, but he managed to free himself from her and turn down her advances, which was quite rare for Flynn. He stayed for breakfast and then made a hasty exit, and it happened somewhere around here, and hopefully today I'm going to find it. There are some nice houses here in Whiston, but none of these look like the big country houses that I expect Flynn went to. Flynn was 23 when he first came to Northamptonshire, and he'd travelled a lot in his young life. He obviously grew up in Tasmania, spent parts of his school life out in London, and then spent a lot of time between Sydney and Papua New Guinea. Now, Papua New Guinea is one of the most visually stunning countries in the world, with fascinating biodiversity, and it's home to countless species of rare animal, plant and bird. But did you know that only 3.5% of the country is paved? There's no railway, and Port Moresby is the only capital city in the world that isn't connected to the rest of the country by road. West Anglia, on the other hand, has fantastic transport connections. So you may not be able to see a moss forest blossom bat here, but you can get from Corby to Chatteris without much difficulty. Well, driving's okay, on the train it's quite hard. And possibly that's why Flynn loved this area so much, because he can get around so easily. I'm still looking for this country house, and looking behind me you'd think I'm nowhere near it. But I'm hoping if I just walk over the horizon I'm going to see something which is going to catch my eye. Here's a fact for you that'll blow your socks off. In 1933 Flynn came here. He was a relative unknown. Within 2 years he was starring in his own Hollywood film Captain Blood, which was a massive success, and he went on to be a huge star. In 2 years, that's all it took. And what happened in that intervening time period? He came to West Anglia, the West Anglian effect. Just think, look at the other film stars we could have had if they'd have spent time here in West Anglia. I know that Tom Hanks is one of the biggest box office successes of all time. Everyone loves him, he's critically acclaimed. But just think how much bigger his career could have been if he'd spent a year here in Northamptonshire. Can't really see any country houses. There's a couple of buildings over there, but they're just normal houses, and there's a church behind me, but I can't really see if it's here. It was a punt for me to come here. I was taking a chance. I was hoping that the Whiston connection was going to mean something. In 1938, Flynn had his most iconic role in The Adventures of Robin Hood alongside Olivia de Havilland as Maid Marian. The two of them would go on to star in many films together. For some inexplicable reason, the producers of that movie decided to film it in California. Why on earth didn't they come here? West Anglia has loads of places that could pass for Sherwood Forest. I mean, it just boggles my mind. I don't know why Flynn didn't say something to them. He knew about this place. He easily could have just said, let's go over there, but he didn't. It's crazy. This here, this could pass for Sherwood Forest. Okay, it's a bit small and there's some litter that needs clearing up and there's a main road there, but apart from that, you could easily do a few scenes here. When Flynn was in Northampton, he appeared in numerous productions, from Othello to The Doll's House to Jack and the Beanstalk. That's right, he even did Panto. Oh no, he didn't. Oh yes, he did. It was in front of West Anglian audiences that he learnt to forge and hone his stagecraft. Now the song goes, if you can make it in New York, then you can make it anywhere. And that's just as true for Kettering. I saw one light entertainer there who was big in the early to mid 90s. He had his own show, I think, on, well, I won't say his name, I've given you enough clues, because he did really badly. He received a very cool reception after an act that went a bit blue. Didn't go down well at all. Just goes to show that it is hard to win over West Anglian audiences, but Flynn did that and he went on to be a huge success out in Hollywood. More fields here, not a country house in sight. It's hard to imagine Flynn, the hard-drinking playboy who loved the bright lights and the glamour, settling down in the country, but it's not so far-fetched. While he was treading the boards here in West Anglia, he and his company toured and went to the Malvern Festival, where he met a young lady and they exchanged a series of love letters. Unfortunately, the relationship didn't work out. She was from Herefordshire, and I think if she was from West Anglia, they would have had a better connection. And imagine, we could have had Flynn out here putting down roots, going to the village pub. Instead he went off to be a major Hollywood star, and I'm very happy for that, because otherwise I wouldn't have a video and I wouldn't be standing here today telling you this. Okay, I've looked all around Whiston and I found no connection to Errol Flynn. I've seen no big country house where Flynn fought off the unwanted attention of a wealthy benefactor. Nothing like that. I guess it was too good to be true, just a coincidence. Me, Whiston in Whiston. I thought there had to be something here, but no. Not sure what I'm going to do now. Right, I've just been online and there is a big country house in a village called Castle Ashby, which is only 1.5 miles from here. So I'm going to go and head there and see if there's a connection to Errol Flynn. I'm heading towards Castle Ashby House and this looks promising. I'm not allowed in, it's a private estate, Castle Ashby, but this is a big country house just outside Northampton, and it definitely looks like the home of somebody who would support the arts. And now I'm really starting to believe that this is the house where Flynn came and had to fight off the attention of the wealthy benefactor of the arts in Northampton. It must be. Jeremy, how good was that? What an ending, finding the house where Flynn spent that night. Castle Ashby. I knew the Whiston connection must mean something, it had to. And it did, it sure did. I'm feeling so pleased with myself right now. So pleased. Oh, this is going to be a great video. The only way it's going to be a bad video, Jeremy, is if you mess up the editing, so please don't do that. That was the story of Errol Flynn's time in West Anglia. We had a good walk around Whiston and then we went to Castle Ashby where we found the home where Flynn spent that night. Go and look it up, it's in his autobiography. And when you read it, you'll go, I've seen the video about that. Thank you for joining me today. Any young actors out there, you may want to come to West Anglia now that you've seen the effect it had on Errol Flynn's career. Worth doing. I hope you'll join me again next time. I've been Nathaniel Whiston and this was Hollywood Stars of West Anglia.